we morphed into nothing to see here mode as it relates to the Harbaugh contract negotiations, even though there was plenty to see, and even though it took multiple days to get it to where it needed to be. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. We're going to have some sound on that point, and we'll talk about it some more. For now, let's hear from John Harbaugh, the new head coach and de facto CEO of the New York Giants football team, on why he selected, of all the jobs that were out there and of all the teams that wanted him, including teams that had not yet fired their head coaches, why did he pick the Giants job?
We have an opportunity to go win, and I like these players, man. I had a chance to watch tape. I like the way they play. I like their style. I like how physical and how tough they are. And I know they want to be successful and they want to go to work. So absolutely, we can do that, and that's our plan to do that. The plan is to win every game. I mean, one game at a time. You go into every game planning to win that game. That's our expectation. That's what we will be expecting to do that. But we've got to earn the right to expect that by how we go to work and prepare and what kind of a team that we make ourselves into.
It is a strange time to be delivering a message of urgency when there won't be a game that counts until September. We're going to get right to work and we'll be back to you in 7 months. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done between now and then, a lot of the infrastructure. And that was one of the other issues. The reporting ended up focusing, as it should, on the power structure, on whether or not John Harbaugh would report to GM Joe Schoen, which has always been the case with the New York Giants. The GM is higher on the organizational chart than the coach. The coach reports to the GM. John Harbaugh didn't want to do that. John Harbaugh wanted to have a direct line to the boss. But it's more than that. John Harbaugh wants to have a hand in everything, and that's okay. When you hire a great chef at a restaurant, that chef's got a team. That chef's got people that he or she has worked with. You want to have that with you. All those other people help make the chef who the chef is. All these people that have worked with John Harbaugh have helped make him what he was for 18 years in Baltimore. So why wouldn't he want to have people with whom he's comfortable, people who have earned his trust, people that trust him and rely on him because they may not have employment where the chef used to cook? So I think it goes well beyond the Joe Schoen power dynamic, and that gets worked out fairly easily in a contract once you come to an agreement. I think there was more. And I heard that, whether it's strength and conditioning, training, medical, he wants to put his fingerprint on everything. And, hey, if you want me to come in and do what I did in Baltimore, you got to let me do it the way I did it in Baltimore. And I think that had a lot to do with it. Now, from a PR standpoint, was it unfortunate that the horse got out of the barn before it was time to officially announce that a deal was done? Yes. People were frustrated. And somebody told me on Saturday, once this deal is done, everybody will be happy. And my response was, nothing ever takes away those 2 days where Giants fans were saying, what the hell is going on? That's never gone. That's still going to be there. The memory of those 2 days of being uncertain about whether or not this deal was going to get done is permanent. Yeah, great. Great. You got the fish in the boat. That's great. Well done. But there was an unexpected fight as they were reeling the fish in. Like, usually, all right, we got the fish. All right, let's just reel it in nice and easy. We're going to get it. No big deal. We got good. The hard part's over. This was not easy, and this is something that however it goes, Giants fans will remember the 1 or 2 nights they went to bed nervous that when they got up in the morning and started doom scrolling, the doom scrolling would include, oh, John Harbaugh has backed out. Oh, John Harbaugh. Just think, Michael, if this had lasted one more day and the Bills fire Sean McDermott, what a wrench that would have thrown in the negotiations for John Harbaugh.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, you always think, until the deal is done, you think, hey, is this thing going to fall apart? Is he going to bail? Or is my team going to let me down one more time? They've let me down on the field. They're going to let me down off the field too. Mike, you said something about John Harbaugh just saying, hypothetically, hey, if you want me to do it the way I did it in Baltimore, you're going to have to give me the reins. And I wonder, and I want to get your take on this. I wonder how much of Baltimore he's going to bring to New York. How much of Baltimore was not really him, but somebody else telling him this is the way we want to do it. And I wonder what it is that John Harbaugh wants the world to see or wants his team to see that is distinctly him that maybe he couldn't implement when he was with the Ravens. And I say that, and they were wildly successful. But Harbaugh was that first-time coach, not a D coordinator, not an O coordinator, so didn't come in with tremendous leverage. When he was hired by the Ravens, they had already won a Super Bowl. Not recently, before he got there, but the organization had a Super Bowl. Had a Hall of Fame player, Hall of Fame executive, and Ozzie Newsome. Ozzie Newsome turns it over to Eric DeCosta. So the power structure was already set in Baltimore. Whatever he did, no matter how many games he won, he still was not going to be the top guy in that organization. That just wasn't the way it was going to be. So I wonder, maybe it was something subtle. For example, the Ravens were one of the first teams in football to fully embrace analytics. It wasn't the Detroit Lions, it was the Ravens. They were ahead of the curve on this. They embraced it so much they had one of the first fully staffed analytics departments. Their analytics department didn't just help them on the field, or doesn't just help them on the field, helps them with draft choices too. Is John Harbaugh on board with all of that? I know he always went for it on fourth down. Did he want to? Or was that something coming from a level above his pay grade? I don't know. I'm just curious about that. What are we going to see from Harbaugh, the Harbaugh-led operation? What kind of tweak, if any, will we see that we didn't see when he was with the Ravens?
Well, it's an excellent point, because after 18 years in one place, there are certain things that were done that you want to bring with you to a team that, although they have won a Super Bowl since John Harbaugh became the head coach of the Ravens, and they won the last Super Bowl played before Harbaugh was hired by the Ravens. They've had big picture success, but it's been a long time. It's been many minutes since the Giants won a Super Bowl. And since 2011, what have they really done? What have they done? They had the division round win over the Vikings a few years ago. They got blown out a week later by the Philadelphia Eagles in primetime on a Saturday night. It has not been a great run, and there have been a lot of failed coaches, and they pivoted away from the first-time head coach formula. And look, so far, 4 for 4 in the hires of the new head coaches in this cycle. All of them have head coaching experience, big-time head coaching experience, NFL or college. No first-time head coaches so far. First-time head coaches, it's a flip of the coin as to whether or not they have the skill set to step into the job. It's a very different job than X's and O's. You are the CEO, whether it's in title, power, or just that's the way it is. The coach is in charge, and that's what Harbaugh wanted to have, and maybe it is a higher level for him in New York. Maybe there are some things that he's always wanted to do, but he wasn't able to do. And when you give a guy unprecedented leverage, $20 million a year, frankly, could have gotten more than that. If he really wanted to push it, could have gotten more than that. But I think one thing that you learn paying close attention to this league, and I go back to the 2011 lockout, once the owners get the money that they're comfortable with, they'll give you all the other stuff. Doesn't cost them anything. You want reduced practice? We'll give you. You want reduced 2 days? Oh, that's fine. And how much does it cost? It's nothing. Good. We're on board with that. So once you get to the money, the other stuff is easier, especially when the Giants, and this is a stat that astounds me. Over the last 3 years, the Giants were 13-38. The Ravens were 33-18. And Harbaugh got fired for that. So if you're the Giants and you're desperate to turn the page, you'd be glad to lose in the divisional round of the playoffs every year, or the AFC Championship. Well, at least on the front end. After about 7 years of that, then you're the Buffalo Bills. But when you aren't consistently getting to the playoffs, and when you are, you're more often than not losing in the playoffs, let's do it. You want to change things? Let's change things. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.